This driver had one job: get this guy, an Archduke, safely through the city. But he made one wrong turn, and because of that single mistake, over 16 million people died in a world war. I'm not even kidding. This is the insane story of how the single worst wrong turn in history changed the entire world. It's a crazy story of bad luck, terrible timing, and a situation so tense that one bullet could literally destroy everything. Let's start with Section 1, the powder keg. So how is it even possible for one wrong turn to cause a global catastrophe? To understand, you have to picture Europe in 1914 as a giant warehouse packed with explosives, and everyone had a lighter. On the surface, everything seemed amazing: new inventions, huge industries, massive empires. But underneath, it was a total disaster waiting to happen. There were 4 huge problems all happening at once: nationalism, imperialism, militarism, and a completely insane web of alliances. Nationalism was like gasoline on the fire. People with the same culture started demanding their own countries, which was a massive threat to the old empires ruling over them. And the center of all this tension was a place called the Balkans, which was literally nicknamed the powder keg of Europe. 2 giant ancient empires, the Ottoman and Austro-Hungarian, were collapsing. As they got weaker, new super proud countries like Serbia started popping up. In 1908, Austria-Hungary annexed Bosnia and Herzegovina, a region with a massive Serb population. This made Serbian nationalists furious. They dreamed of uniting all South Slavic people into one mega nation called Yugoslavia. To them, Austria-Hungary was the ultimate enemy. This rage led to secret societies, and the craziest one was a group called the Black Hand. These guys weren't just protesting, they were terrorists who thought violence was the only way to get what they wanted. And they had a number 1 target. His name was Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the next in line to rule the Austro-Hungarian Empire. You'd think he was some evil villain, but the real story is way crazier. He was actually trying to fix things. He was a family man who married a woman named Sophie for love, even though she was considered unworthy. Their own kids weren't even allowed to inherit the throne. Maybe because of this, Ferdinand actually felt bad for the minority groups in his empire and was thinking about giving them more power. But that idea made him a huge target. Serbian nationalists didn't want a nicer empire. If people got happy, their dream of a united Yugoslavia would die forever. So, for the hardcore members of the Black Hand, Franz Ferdinand had to be eliminated. On the other side of this was Gavrilo Princip. He was a 19-year-old poor sick student from a rural Bosnian Serb family, the complete opposite of the Archduke. He was an idealist who was radicalized by revolutionary books and felt his homeland was being occupied. He was part of a group called Young Bosnia, which was inspired by the Black Hand. These were literally kids with a romantic, almost suicidal mission to strike a blow against the empire. In the spring of 1914, Princip was reading a newspaper and saw that Franz Ferdinand was coming to visit Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia. For him and his friends, this was their chance. The Black Hand gave them guns and cyanide pills, and this small group of amateur assassins went to Sarajevo ready to make history. The stage was set for total chaos. Section 2, the spark. Okay, so it's June 28th, 1914. The sun is shining, it's the Archduke's wedding anniversary, but the security for this massive event was a complete joke. The governor, General Oskar Podiorak, totally underestimated the danger and didn't even put enough soldiers on the streets. There were 7 assassins hidden in the crowd along the parade route, armed with bombs and pistols. Their plan was simple, but the execution was one of the biggest fails in history. The first assassin completely chickens out. The second one does nothing. Then we get to assassin number 3, Nedeljko Čebrinović. He throws his bomb at the Archduke's car, but the bomb has a 10-second delay. It bounces off the convertible top and blows up under the next car. People were injured, but the Archduke was totally fine. Then, Čebrinović pulls off the most pathetic suicide attempt ever. He tries to take a cyanide pill, but it's old, so it just makes him puke. Then he jumps into a river that's literally 4 inches deep. The police just walked in and arrested him. The Archduke's car sped away to the town hall, flying past all the other assassins, including a shocked Gavrilo Princip. The mission was a total failure. When they got there, a furious Franz Ferdinand screamed at the mayor, "I come here for a visit and you greet me with bombs. This is outrageous." After the reception, they had to decide what to do. General Podgorek, completely embarrassed, insisted everything was fine. They decided to cancel the rest of the trip, but Franz Ferdinand made a noble and fatal decision. He wanted to visit the hospital to see the people injured by the bomb. This is the single moment everything goes wrong. They planned a new, safer route to the hospital. But in all the chaos, somebody forgot one tiny critical detail. They forgot to tell the driver. The driver, Leopold Lojka, was just doing his job. As they left, the first two cars made a right turn onto Franz Joseph Street, following the original route. So Lojka, driving the Archduke, did what anyone would do. He followed the car in front of him. He made the turn, the wrong turn. General Podgorek, sitting in the car, started freaking out. "What is this? This is the wrong way," he yelled. "We're supposed to take the Appel Quay." Lojka slammed it on the brakes. The car stalled and stopped, and as he tried to get the car started again, he had no idea who was standing on the sidewalk not 5 feet away from him. It was Gavrilo Princip. After the huge fail that morning, he had given up. He'd wandered over to a deli owned by a guy named Moritz Schiller. You've probably heard he was buying a sandwich. That's a total myth! He was probably just standing there, crushed, thinking he had failed his life's mission. And then, in the most insane twist of fate I have ever heard, his target appeared. Not speeding by, but stopped, motionless, vulnerable, 5 feet away. Princip did not hesitate. He stepped forward, raised his pistol, and fired 2 shots. Boom. Boom. The first hit Franz Ferdinand in the neck. The second hit his wife Sophie in the stomach. For a second, there was silence. Sophie collapsed onto her husband. As his uniform turned dark with blood, Franz Ferdinand's last words were a plea. "Soferl, Soferl, don't die! Stay alive for our children!" As he faded, he kept repeating, "It is nothing. It is nothing." Within minutes, both he and Sophie were dead. The spark had been lit. Section 3. The Inferno. So the Archduke is dead, and you'd think this is when the war starts, right? Wrong. At first, nobody was screaming World War. Most people just thought it was a local problem between Austria-Hungary and Serbia. But a group of powerful leaders in Austria-Hungary didn't see a tragedy. They saw an excuse. This was the moment they'd been waiting for, to crush Serbia. First, they needed backup. On July 5th, they went to Germany to see Kaiser Wilhelm II. The Kaiser was furious about his friend's murder and basically gave them a blank check, promising to back them up no matter what. Feeling unstoppable, on July 23rd, Austria-Hungary sent Serbia a list of 10 demands so impossible to meet. They were designed to be rejected. The demands were insane, including letting Austrian officials operate inside Serbia, a total violation of their independence. Serbia had 48 hours to respond, and in a huge surprise, they agreed to almost everything, only rejecting the part about Austrian officials. It was a genius move to make themselves look reasonable, but Austria-Hungary didn't want peace. On the 28th of July 1914, exactly 1 month after the wrong turn in Sarajevo, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. And then, the dominoes fell. Fast! Russia, seeing itself as Serbia's protector, started mobilizing its giant army. Germany saw this and declared war on Russia on August 1st. That dragged in France, who had a treaty with Russia. Germany had a plan called the Schlieffen Plan. Crush France super fast, then turn around and fight Russia. So on August 3rd, Germany declared war on France. To pull this off, Germany had to march through the neutral country of Belgium, and that was the final mistake. Great Britain had stayed out of it, but they had a treaty guaranteeing Belgium was neutral. When Germany invaded, Britain's hand was forced. On August 4th, 1914, Great Britain declared war on Germany. In just 1 month, a single wrong turn had dragged the entire continent into the biggest war the world had ever seen. The powder keg had finally exploded. The start of World War I was the definition of a perfect storm. All these huge problems, nationalism, rivalries, giant armies, and insane alliances were just waiting for one tiny spark to set them off. And that spark was the assassination. But the assassination only happened because of a crazy chain of tiny mistakes and pure luck. Terrible security, a nervous bomber, a bomb with a bad fuse. A noble but dumb decision to visit a hospital. And most importantly, a driver who didn't get the memo and made one fatal wrong turn. That one turn put a failed assassin face to face with his target. It's one of the most unbelievable coincidences in all of history. The war that came next destroyed empires, killed millions, and literally shaped the world we live in today. It's insane that one of the biggest events in history all started on a single street corner. If you thought this story was insane, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because we have so many more crazy history stories just like this one. Thanks for watching.